talks. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas today asking the United Nations to admit Palestine as a full UN member. The Security Council is going to meet Monday to discuss the proposal. Now, earlier today, I spoke with Jihad al-Wazir. He is the governor of the Palestinian Monetary Authority, the region's central bank, and I asked him what statehood could mean for the Palestinian economy.
What's been happening lately is the Palestinian economy, GDP growth was almost suspended. We're now down to 3.5% GDP growth for 2011. Last year we had 9% GDP growth, simply because Israeli restrictions were plateaued. You know, we had a period where Israel removed many of the restrictions on movement of people, goods and services. And so the economy grew, helped by an injection from donor countries. Now, because of expectation of what's going to happen in September, the economy, businesses stopped hiring, investment said we'll postpone it to see what's going to happen after September. So and then we had the Arab Spring effect really dampening the economic activity in the whole region. And so we had a decline in economic growth. And we expect about 3.5 at the max for 2011.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned this idea of donor countries. Let's talk about donations coming from other Arab nations. Particularly, 2009, over $400 million coming to the Palestinian Authority. 2010, over $250 million. But so far this year, only about $78 million. Are the Arab countries fulfilling their pledges?
In the last couple of weeks, there was a dramatic change. We had about 50 million from Kuwait, and yesterday I had a meeting with the the finance minister of Saudi Arabia. There's $200 million that's going to be sent to the Palestinian Authority in the next couple of days. So I think the budget deficit, which is around $300 billion for 2011, will be covered with this new injection. Also, we had something from Algeria. And so I think now in July, August, we had a gap which really led to the PA unable to pay the salaries. They only paid half salaries for 1 month, but then they recovered the month after. And so, Arab funding now has been increased. Now the fear is what's going to happen after the vote today, or after the submission of in UN, whether Israel will suspend our tax money that's collected on our behalf by the Israeli authorities. This will take away about 40% of the budget, and this will have a dramatic impact on the Palestinian Authority.
Now, in addition to donations and funding coming from Arab nations, according to the U.S. State Department and USAID, about $500 million from the United States goes to the Palestinian Authority every year. What happens to that money? Where does it go?
Well, about 150 go budget support, but this money goes to
budget support for the government of the Palestinian Authority,
primarily on the security sector. So, as there's been security reform in the past few years, and a lot of this funding goes to help the security services to protect the security of Palestinians and to ensure that the situation remains stable. There's health sector, educational sector, NGO sector, and so the UNRWA, for example, the United Nations Relief Works Agency, and so it plays an important role in the sustenance of the Palestinian economy. The reason we need this funding is because our GDP, if Israelis remove the restrictions, the barriers, the checkpoints, the wall, the lack of freedom of movement for Palestinians, we are under occupation. If they remove the restrictions, then Palestinian economy on its own can really have a GDP growth of between 13 to 14%. And because of the Israeli restrictions, the security regime, the growth has been stunted, and so the deficit has been financed by the donor countries because government revenues are not able to achieve what it could potentially achieve because of Israeli restrictions.
That was Jihad al-Wazir. He's the governor of the Palestinian Monetary Authority.